One thing that all religions seem to share is that they define our relationship with death to some extent or other. And they define that relationship in conflict with the evidence that we can observe. Now, some religions are, in my opinion, more harmful in that than others would be. Some attitudes to death, some religious attitudes to death, are relatively harmless, I would say. Other attitudes are in fact quite harmful, I would contest. Now, obviously, nobody can definitively say what happens when you die. However, when we look at reality, and in all fairness now, looking at reality would, in my honest opinion, be probably the most appropriate thing to do, rather than to sit there philosophizing about things whilst ignoring the evidence we can see all around us. So looking at reality, all the evidence seems to point to the simple interpretation that death truly is the end of an individual's existence. That's it. Game over. So I'm going to lead my life based on the premise that that is the case, unless I get convincing evidence to the contrary. Now, I have made many videos already showing you how you can reconcile the realization that you are going to die and that that is more than likely going to be the end of the story with enjoying life and appreciating what life is all about. And you can even come to the conclusion, to the realization that if you accept that death is the final curtain and that there's going to be nothing after that, that has in fact got quite a number of very, very positive implications. For example, as Epicurus pointed out, it means that death has to be nothing to us. There's no need to fear death in any way, shape or form, because nobody will ever experience what it is like to be dead, so to speak. Anyway, I have gone over this many times already in previous videos, and I've even created a playlist about it called Death. I want to now focus on how religions deal with death, and the various different ways religions deal with death. Now, the most harmless, in my opinion, would be the ones that simply go about denying death. They would say that there is an afterlife, for example, and that death therefore isn't the end. Now, apart from the fact that such religions tend to devalue physical existence, the life that we can observe and verify as being real with our own senses, and that we can therefore be certain about is real, they devalue that for the idea of something that might come after you die. And they would typically tend to portray that as better as current life, which means that people, rather than living their life to the fullest, would start focusing on this purported afterlife and forget to lead the life that they have, the one life that they can be certain of. But that doesn't happen to all religious people. Many religious people, even though they do believe in an afterlife, they just see that as some sort of a consolation, as a reason not to fear death, while still fully engaging in a normal relationship with their real physical existence. So, I would call that a fairly harmless attitude towards death, In actual fact, think about it. If you can stave off the fear of death by believing that there is something going to be after death, there's no real harm in that. Because you're never going to find out that you're wrong, if you're wrong. You understand what I'm saying? You believe that there's going to be an afterlife, you die, well, that's the end of all information as far as you're concerned. So even the information that would tell you you were wrong is never going to make it through to your consciousness, because your consciousness has ceased to exist. So these people are never going to find out that they're wrong. And if it helps them cope with life as it is, where's the harm in that? Other than what I'm saying, it might lead them to devalue their current physical existence. But given if they don't do that, it's probably the most harmless way of dealing with death other than facing up to reality.